This is Andrew Tate, and for the next 7 days, I'm going to be drinking 5 cups of coffee per day and only eating once per day. Because for the next week, I'm going to be eating and training like the man himself. Let's see if I survive.
I have about 10 to 15 cups of coffee a day and 2 or 3 cigars a day, and I only eat once a day.
Today is day 1 of living, eating, and training like Andrew Tate. So first thing in the morning Andrew does when he wakes up is check his phone and starts just getting to work right away, answering messages, replying to people, replying to staff for about 30 minutes, and then goes to go train. And while he's training, he's on his phone. For me personally, I did the same thing. Woke up in the morning, I at least checked my phone, had nobody to message, and then got straight to work. And so here I am outside the gym to train some clients. From now up until around 2 p.m., I'm just gonna be working, training clients. And as soon as I have the first opportunity to actually start training, I will start training myself. For right now, it's time to go to work and start training other people. For the morning, what we have is 2 coffees in this bad boy. And that is 2 of many coffees. Anyways, it's enough rambling. I'm gonna get to work and I will check in as the day goes on. Alrighty, so not only are we going to be eating, training, and living like Andrew Tate, we're also going to be following some of his fitness tips that he is leaving on Twitter. So if you follow him on Twitter and you want some free fitness advice, he's putting some up. Now, before he actually goes into his fitness tips, he does give a disclaimer. He says, disclaimer, absolutely none of the advice I will give is based on any kind of evidence. I do not care what the Matrix says is true or not via a study, in quotes. Many things may be contrary to science. I do not want to see studies or hear opinions. I do not care. I'm posting what works for me, which is fair. I mean, everybody has their different methodologies as far as what they do. It may be unconventional. It may be not backed by science, but what works for somebody works for somebody. And what works for somebody may not work for somebody else. There are universal laws of thermodynamics and exercise and working out that we kind of have to follow that if you want to see some result, but some nuances in between may be up for interpretation, and you might do something a bit unconventional that works really good for you. And if you like doing it, then so be it. So first thing is first here on his fitness tips. Coffee is your friend. You need at least 5 coffees a day, 7 days a week. Become a caffeinated human. Hot, cold, doesn't matter. Black, no milk, and no sugar. It's a fantastic hunger suppressant. It stimulates the mind. It busies the body. Coffee is power. Excuse me as I sip my 3rd cup of coffee for the day. Now, this I do have to agree with. Coffee is actually great. It's a stimulant. It increases your NEAT, helps you burn more calories at rest, gives you energy. If you have more energy and you're up and you're moving around, then you're gonna burn more calories, allowing you to keep your body fat low. It does suppress the hunger whenever I do go on a fast, whether I fast for like 24 hours or more, or just if I'm intermittent fasting throughout the entire day for whatever reason. Coffee is a great hunger suppressant, and whenever I get really hungry, as soon as I drink some coffee, it holds me over for at least a couple more hours. And for what our week has ahead of us, we're definitely gonna need a lot of energy, because the next fitness tip, he says, rest days are a lie. You will rest while you're asleep. The lazy embrace the idea of rest, an endless rant about how it's more important than training. Your entire shit lazy life is rest. You do not need rest days. Don't listen to this garbage. You should train 7 days a week. Never, ever miss a day. Now, I somewhat kind of agree and disagree with this. I think in terms of training, if you are lifting weights, it is good to have off days in terms of letting your muscles recover, but doesn't mean you can't train in some other way. A lot of people actually skip out on cardio. So cardio could be playing a sport, could be going for a walk, jump roping, walking on a treadmill. That in and of itself can be training. It is a way for you to obviously burn some calories and get exercise. I think that doing some sort of physical activity for at least an hour a day is super beneficial. So yes, 7 days a week, you could technically train 7 days a week. Doesn't always mean it has to be weightlifting. I know Mr. Andrew Tate cycles between obviously lifting weights every day and then also does some sort of boxing training as well. So he might not lift weights every day, but he is doing some sort of training every day. Next, sugar is your enemy. Fatty food is fine. You can eat KFC all day long. Just don't have it with a Coke. All these seed oils, baby breakdowns are probably true, although who actually has time to care or give a fuck? Eat absolutely anything you want, just avoid sugar. It's poison. Now, sugar is very highly addictive. It's almost like a drug. You eat a little bit of sugar, next thing you're hooked, and you're eating sugar every day, driving your calories up, making it very hard to either lose weight, keep the weight off. So I kind of agree and disagree with this a little bit, because I think sugar from fruit is actually fine. If you want some sort of sweetness in your life, I think sugar from fruit is perfectly fine. I also think maybe sugar in moderation is good, but not everybody has the self-control or discipline to just eat a little bit and put the chocolate bar down. Some people, when they eat just a little bit, it leads to a lot of it. Now, this is kind of why I'm fasting. He says here, you can eat absolutely anything you want and as much as you want, but only for 1 hour a day. I usually do 7 p.m. and go to bed full. The rest of the day, don't touch a thing. Hungry, are you? Oh, poor baby. You can live months without food. Are you going to be okay till dinner time? Is your little wee-wee hurt? Do you have a little tiny wee-wee? Does bread control you? Is bread the boss? Shall we talk about how hungry you are? Shall we have a therapy session? Point on this doll where it hurts. Oh no, not your tummy. Gay. Be hungry and shut up. Now, basically what he's describing is intermittent fasting. Every day you wake up, you fast, and he's only eating once a day. For people that intermittent fast, they might eat a couple times a day, 2, 3, maybe max, or they might just have a really big meal once per day. Now, you can't necessarily eat anything you want and as much as you want, because if you want to lose weight, keep the weight off, you want to stay in good shape, you do need to somewhat manage your calories. So if you're in a calorie surplus, even if you eat once a day, you're going to get fat no matter what. But it's very, very hard to actually eat a full day's worth of calories in one sitting unless you're actually trying to. Now, if you eat good quality foods, which for Tate, he only really eats mainly meat, and it mainly coming from steaks or beef. So if you're eating like that, it's going to be extremely difficult to actually eat in a surplus of calories. And so for the next 7 days, we're going to be eating once a day for about 1 hour a day. I don't know if I'll necessarily do 7 p.m. because I do work in the evenings as well, training clients. I'll probably eat my meals at either 5 to 6 p.m. or maybe 6 to 7 p.m. just depends on the day, because I personally don't like going to bed full. I think that if you give yourself time to actually digest the food and you don't go to bed on a super full stomach, you'll actually get much better sleep and much better rest. So that's me personally. I would definitely avoid trying to go to bed extremely full or on a full stomach. It's not necessarily ideal. So from right now until dinner time, all we're gonna be doing is drinking water, coffees. This is the third one here. After I finish this, I need at least 2 more according to Tate. Suppress the hunger, keep the energy levels high, and just making sure we're on our A game. This right here is a cigarillo. It's a small cigar, pure tobacco. And the reason I'm having this is because his next tweet says nicotine along with caffeine is a miracle drug. Nicotine and caffeine together give you fire blood. It's literally what I run on. The unhealthy part of nicotine is the delivery vehicle, the smoking, not the nicotine itself. Therefore, you could chew nicotine gum, but this would make you gay. You would end up spending a large portion of your life in homosexual nightclubs. So, smoke like a hero and train so hard that your lungs never let any tar take hold. I wake up, have 10 coffees and endless cigars and shisha all day, eat a ton of meat at 7 p.m. My lungs work so hard every day that any smoking damage is eradicated before it can take hold. My testosterone level is massive. I'm on 0 drugs or steroids. My money is strong and my Johnson is long. Top G, top striker, carbon boss, bandness president. Well, in that case, this is going to be one of many cigars, nicotine I'm going to be having per day. Now, I myself am a tobacco lover. I like cigars. I like the way it makes me feel. I believe they're a lot healthier than cigarettes. So if I do want a quick smoke, I'll have something like this in between my appointments, on the way to the gym to train clients, on the way to the gym to even work out. And a couple times a week for sure, I'm having a regular, just old-fashioned cigar. But for now, the little baby ones will do. Gotta get the nicotine in the bloodstream by all means necessary.
If I smoke and drink coffee all the time, I feel hungry, which motivates me, and I feel energetic. It's energetic hungry. That's how I like to feel when I'm working. I want to be hungry. If I eat, I'm tired.
And let me tell you, that's exactly how I feel. I feel a bit hungry, but super energetic. I mean, I'm 4 coffees deep, so I better be energetic. If I'm not, there's definitely something wrong with me, but I'm not actually crazy starving. I'm hungry, I can eat, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, I need food. I used to do a lot of intermittent fasting, but I never really have done consistently 1 meal a day. That's just never my style. I've always have like 2-3 meals a day. So eating this way is definitely gonna be a little bit different. Over the past couple of years, I've traditionally just eaten like a breakfast, lunch, and dinner and some snacks in between. Relatively 3 to 5 times a day I'm eating, kind of like all day. But I will say, not eating is nice because I'm just able to just do a bunch of work. So like today, I just trained a bunch of clients, didn't even worry about eating, pounded a bunch of coffee, smoked a cigarillo. And the combination between nicotine and caffeine in my veins is giving me the power to conquer today. But the true test is gonna be right now. During the workout, we're gonna see how I actually feel. So stay tuned.
This night is cold in the kingdom. I can feel you fade away. From the kitchen to the bathroom sinking. Your steps keep me awake. Don't cut me down, throw me out, leave me here to waste. I once was a man with dignity and grace. Now I'm slipping through the cracks of your cold embrace. So please, please, could you
Alrighty, I'm about halfway through this back and chest workout, and I honestly thought that I wouldn't really have much energy or much strength, but it turns out I actually have more than I anticipated. Like, I actually feel surprisingly good. There's something about this nicotine and caffeine combination. I don't know, maybe it's just enough caffeine. I'm 4 coffees deep, so there's something to it. Alrighty, we are here post-workout, and for the only hour of the day that we get to eat, I am sitting here with a bowl from Kava with braised lamb, basmati rice. Andrew Tate says you can eat whatever you want, but just for 1 hour a day. The time right now is 4:30 p.m. I'll eat from 4:30 to 5:30, train my evening clients, go home, and go to bed. But had a feeling that Kava might skimp out on the portions, and boy, they skimped out. This is the smallest bowl I've ever gotten from Kava ever. But luckily, I came prepared, and I also brought with me an entire New York strip steak, relatively around half a pound. Eat the Kava braised lamb, New York strip steak, and if I'm still hungry, because you can eat as much as you want, we have ground beef as well. So, as you can see, about 90% of our food is gonna be coming from meat, a little bit of vegetables, a little bit of rice, and it is time to dig into this. Go ahead and go in for a little bit of a taste test here, shall we? Now, with this being the only meal for the day, I have to admit, day 1 was actually quite easy, but I don't want to speak too soon because we have 6 more days of this. I went ahead and ate this meal and just got geared up for day number 2. Welcome to day 2 of living, eating, and training like Andrew Tate. It is currently 11 a.m. I woke up in the morning, went straight to work, trained a couple clients, came home, and now I'm doing some computer work. Gonna do this for a little bit and then head to the gym to go train. But excuse me as I drink my second cup of coffee. Only 3 more to go. I did have a cigar on the way home from training my clients, well, another cigarillo, so a small cigar. Either way, we got the nicotine in our bloodstream and we didn't chew gum. We smoked like a true hero. For my one meal today, I'm probably gonna eat somewhere around 3 o'clock or so, which I'm a little bit nervous for, but 4 to 9 p.m. tonight, I have clients all the way through, just 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I'm not gonna have the luxury of eating then, so I'm probably gonna try and eat earlier, which is around 3 p.m. So I'm just a little bit nervous in terms of my hunger later on in the day, but we do have one more trick up our sleeve if we do get hungry. That is Andrew Tate approved. Excuse me while I drink 3 more coffees, smoke at least 1 more cigar, and just continue conquering the day. Alrighty, here we are with the one meal for the entire day. Alrighty, here we are with the one and only meal for the entire day. What I have here are 2 massive steaks here. I mean, this together is probably close to 3 pounds worth of meat. We're gonna eat as much of this as possible. If we eat both of them and I'm still hungry, I have some rice. If I eat some rice and I'm still hungry, I have some more beef. But you have 1 hour, as Andrew Tate says, to eat as much as you want. So I'm really just gonna sit here and eat as much as I want. Now, it is pretty early on in the day. It's around 3 o'clock. So from like 3 to 4, I'm gonna eat as much as I can because I work from 4 to pretty much 9 p.m. and then I have to try and go to bed early because I have clients the next day to train. So right now is the hour to eat. Also, caffeine update. I just finished my 4th cup of coffee. I have my 5th one ready to go. I still have 1 more cigar to smoke. So cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, day 3 of eating and training like Andrew Tate. We are here not with our meal for the entire day because yesterday I had my meal around 4:30. It's currently 3 o'clock. So it has been almost an entire day since I've eaten, and I'm starting to feel a little bit. Excuse me as I consume my 4th coffee here. I really need this caffeine to busy the body and suppress the appetite because I am getting a bit ravenous. However, we do have a trick up our sleeve if we do get a little bit hungry. And this comes from Tate himself. Beef bone broth makes you strong. It is literally the annihilated bones of huge, strong cattle. You won't consume that, but you consume gummy bears instead, and you wonder why your woman doesn't love you. I'm a big fan of bone broth personally. This is the one I use right here, Kettle and Fire. Beef bone broth. You can get chicken bone broth, but do you want to drink the bones of a small chicken or strong cattle? It's up to you. And that is what we have right here. It's only 40 calories per serving and 10 grams of protein. Drink this whole thing, it's 40 grams of protein for that entire thing right there. And this will definitely help starve off the hunger. So if you're trying to eat 1 meal a day and kind of do this, having some beef bone broth either before or after your meal to keep the hunger at bay and get in some more protein, I'm all for. And it's actually delicious, super good. So this right here is what I'm gonna be consuming until dinner time, which won't be for like a couple hours. So now usually when I'm eating this much beef, I'm a beef lover. I love steak. I could eat it all day, but you know, I like to have some sort of carbs with it. Preferably I love fruit, but for Andrew Tate, fruit isn't on the menu. Part of his fitness tips that he tweets is fruit isn't healthy. It's a psyop. Avoid it. You'll be healthier if you never eat fruit ever again. It's loaded with sugar. Fruit juices are the absolute worst. Orange juice is worse than Coke. Avoid completely. Meat, vegetables as much as possible. Endless steaks and vegetables. You'll get bad carb hunger, have a tiny handful of fries or whatever, and cram in more steak. You don't need to count calories, just eat this diet as much as you want for 1 hour a day, 60% meat, 20% veg, and 20% carbs. You'll look like an animal. Now, when it comes to this fitness tip, personally, I disagree. I think fruit is actually really good for you. Whenever I look at somebody that's completely overweight, I don't think to myself, they eat a lot of fruit. That's why they're overweight. It's because they're just in a surplus of calories. And if you eat fruit all day, it's actually kind of difficult to eat in a surplus. So, you know, personally, out of all of Tate's fitness tips, this is one I definitely do not agree with, especially the counting calories part. If you want to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit. How do you know if you're in a calorie deficit? If you never count your calories. Okay, so today is day 4 of eating and training like Andrew Tate. Now, I am 4 coffees deep, so I am very well energized and very hungry, but we haven't got our nicotine in yet. So we are smoking a cigar, and at the same time, we are also training. Usually the way I train is 3 days on, 1 day off. But because we're training like Andrew Tate, we take no rest days. That's right, 7 days a week. It does not matter. I'm not gonna be lifting weights today, but I am gonna be training. I'm gonna be doing jump rope and smoking the cigar at the same time, just supersetting between training my heart and training my lungs. How else are you supposed to jump rope without a cigar? Train the heart and train the lungs. Come on now. Now, I must admit, although I was liking the diet, I actually had a lot of energy, more than I thought I actually should or would. By day 5, my workouts were definitely beginning to suffer a little bit. I just didn't feel as strong or as motivated to go in the gym without having any food before. And by day 6, something weird actually happened. I had my full days of coffee and nicotine, as well as only 1 meal. And while I was out with my family, we went shopping, and I started getting a little bit of anxiety, like my heart rate was climbing up for no reason. I even had a moment where like my vision went a little bit blurry and it kind of freaked me out. And I have had a history in the past of dealing with a little bit of anxiety issues or panic attacks. And I don't know if all the stimulants from the caffeine and the nicotine have something to do with it. I'm usually okay with coffee. I mean, I don't typically push 5 every single day. So could it have been the coffee and the nicotine combination, just an excess amount? Maybe. You know, not every human can handle that amount of stimulant overload. But we pressed on to day 7 with all the nicotine, caffeine, only eaten once a day. And overall, part of me really enjoyed this diet. Part of me kind of hated it. Is it sustainable? Is it for everybody? Honestly, no, definitely not. But you know, like Tate, you have to find what works for you, something you can stick with, something that you enjoy, and something that's efficient and gets the job done. For him, this gets the job done. For you, probably not. In conclusion, would I stick with this diet long term? Definitely not. But you know, I think there is something you can take away from just eating less, doing more work, and just having the discipline to do some sort of physical activity every single day. Overall, not too bad. Let me know your thoughts, comment down below. Other than that, I'm wrapping the video up here, and I will see you guys in the next one.